Standards are the newsstands. I am Sisi Chuku on this wonderful and beautiful edition of the program. A big welcome to all that is watching in Nigeria and also in the diaspora. Thank you for subscribing to Flip TV. We have been adjudged to be one of the best online TV platforms in Nigeria. I have my wonderful reviewer here with me here this morning to do justice to the newspaper headlines. I have Mr. Matthew, Mr. Kunle, Mr. Chigozie, and also Mr. Samuel. They are on their way as we look into what is happening in the country. Okay, let's move over to newspaper headlines. This morning, I have with me the Daily Sun newspaper, and also I do have the Vanguard newspaper. Federal government to end 30 billion naira monthly electricity subsidy next year. Federal government to end 30 billion naira monthly electricity subsidy next year. That means if subsidy is being taken away, we are going to be experiencing an increase in the price of fuel, price of petrol, and all the lubricants. Okay, Buhari jets out to London for medical checkup, education summit. Immediately after, yesterday morning, Buhari jets out to London for medical checkup and education summit. Entrench e-transmission of polls results into electoral law. PDP governors urge National Assembly. Entrench e-transmission of polls results into electoral law. PDP governors urge National Assembly. Gunmen hijack 3 buses, abduct 60 passengers on Sokoto-Gusau Highway. Gunmen hijack 3 buses, abduct 60 passengers on Sokoto-Gusau Highway. FG, federal government begins payment of outstanding pension contributions. Federal government begins payment of outstanding pension contributions. Main headline on the Vanguard newspaper this morning: Igboho, federal government Beninese lawyers battle over extradition in court. Federal government Beninese lawyers battle over extradition in court. Supporters insist Igboho committed no offense against Benin Republic. Journalists, supporters barred from courtroom. Benin security operatives remove leg chain, handcuff. Benin security operatives remove leg chain from Igboho and the handcuff. He's not under any immigration-related probe. Ilona Omo Odua insists he's not under any immigration-related probe. Ilona Omo Odua insists. Gani Adams rallies Benin monarchs for Igboho. Gani Adams rallies Benin monarchs for Igboho. Says we must stand by him. We must stand by him. Afenifere wants federal government to stop harassing freedom agitators as court releases 48 Yoruba Nation agitators. PIB invitation to anarchy, says Ondo Oil communities. PIB invitation to anarchy, says Ondo Oil communities. Kanu, Nnewi, Onitsha locked down as supporters protest. Nnewi, Onitsha locked down as supporters protest. Let's move over to the Daily Sun newspaper. Court orders DSS to release 5 of Sowere's men arrested in Dunamis Church. Court orders DSS to release 5 of Sowere's men that were arrested at the Dunamis Church. Main headline on the Sun newspaper this morning: controversies trail Kanu Igboho's trials. Controversies trail Kanu Igboho's trials. DSS fails to produce Ipob leader in Abuja. Cites logistics challenge to as court adjourns to October 21. DSS fails to produce Ipob leader in Abuja. Cites logistics challenge as court adjourns to October 21. We fear he may have been killed. Pro-Biafra group. We fear he may have been killed. Pro-Biafra group. Pro-Yoruba agitator also not brought to open court in Cotonou. Pro-Yoruba agitator, that is Sunday Igboho, also not brought to open court in Cotonou. Have rallied 10 Benin Republic monarchs to secure Igboho's freedom. That is from Gani Adams. President signs 982 billion naira 2021 supplementary appropriation bill into law. President signs 982 billion naira 2021 supplementary appropriation bill into law. Buhari leaves for London for education summit, medical check-up. Buhari leaves for London for education summit, medical check-up. PDP governors insist on electronic transmission of election results. Accuse APC of turning Nigeria to killing field. Accuse APC of turning Nigeria to killing field. How 9-year-old girl raised Abuja Ebano supermarkets. How 9-year-old girl raised Abuja Ebano supermarkets. That's it for it today. Let's move over to our reviewers this morning. Mr. Jose, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Christian. Good morning, SM viewers.
Let's take a look at what happened at the court yesterday. What is your assertion on what happened yesterday, looking at what the DSS did and also the judge also did?
Yes, we are still watching the development, and it is not a surprise for the failure of DSS not to have arraigned Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for a trial that was already slated for about barely a month now, and they are still giving such flimsy excuses that due to logistics. What does that mean? If they have killed him, let them come and tell us, and then they will pay dearly the rest of their life. You see, this is nonsense. It is unacceptable. It's an infringement on his rights of self-defense. By that action, DSS or Nigerian government has clearly shown to the world that they are not ready for any free and fair trial. That Nnamdi Kanu possibly might not have fair hearing or justice within the Nigerian court of law. He was the first arraignment he was taken to court on 26th of June. After a month, you have not been able to come up with such logistics. What is? He said, I think they owe us an explanation. Whatever happens, the entire world is watching, and of course, his people are not taking this for granted. It doesn't matter the number of arrests that have been effected, but that cannot deter the people. You can see the level of readiness, the level of anger, the extremity that have been stirred within the average indigenous people of Biafra. And not just the entire world, the lover of just people who love peace and justice. On what basis is this young man be tortured or subjected to such level of subjugation that they couldn't provide him, bring him to court so that he can face the supposed trial? And of course, they have denied his legal counsel from access to him prior to the sitting of the courts. All these things are signals. Of course, it's not a surprise that Nigeria is a lawless state, and whatever happens shouldn't be a surprise.
Okay.
But I think they are in for unimaginable surprise if should anything go wrong.
Yeah, Pro Biafra group is saying that we fear he may have been killed. The way the DSS is handling his case. For over 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he cannot produce somebody who has not been even convicted by the court of law.
It's quite unfortunate. Even the judge admitted the fact that he was not even, it was not communicated to him the reason why he shouldn't be brought to the courts, while they understood that there should be a court proceeding. The court should be sitting for such a serious case, and Nnamdi Kanu and his counsel, legal counsel, has a right to argue their position, and they by that truncated the legal proceeding, the court proceedings, which they have to have joined for over 2 months. Why? This is a level of injustice. It's a crime against humanity, and this should not be accepted or tolerated. Why should a man be detained for more than 48 hours, as enshrined in our constitution? That they have no right to detain somebody behind the bar for 48 hours without being tried. And now they have to stay for October till October for what cause?
The DSS has said that his case is a special case. That's why they are handling his case.
A special case, of course, requires prompt response, prompt hearing to facilitate the court proceedings. So, because the more it is lingered, the more it is delayed, the more the anger within the people builds up, the more the resentment, of course, people already have lost confidence in our judicial system. The more people tend to believe, of course, most of them have made their position known, that he may have been feared dead. Because these people are cooking up something that is, we are smelling rats in all these whatever that is happening. So it is not far from the truth that these people are trying to truncate the process of fair and justice. As far as this case is concerned, it's a serious case, it's a special case. There shouldn't be any cause or any reason for adjourning it to October 21st. They should have, of course, rearranged for adjourn the case today, which is 27. There's nothing that stopped that because it's a special case and it should be treated as such.
The high-handedness of the DSS, how do you look at it? What picture does it paint for the Nigerian security force?
Of course, Nigeria state is a killer state, a state that is bent at exterminating her own citizens. You can see the level of brutality, the cruelty of their oppression yesterday. Most of them are just chasing after the innocent people who came to identify with Nnamdi Kanu, which is not against the law of the state, of the Federation of the Nigerian states. That you have the rights of expression, you have the right to identify with anyone you want to identify, provided it does not truncate or it does not infringe on other people's fundamental rights. So why should the DSS be so cruel in their engagement with the people, with the masses? It's unfortunate. I mean, truly, Nigeria state is a zoological state. Even in animal farm, there's some level of orderliness. So I don't see all these things are just a political jamboree. Nnamdi Kanu has not been convicted by any law of the Federation of the Nigerian state, by any competent court of law. So why should his fundamental right be infringed upon? Why should the government of this country be prejudicial? You can see that he scurried and he jets out of the country for medical checkup, expending our hard-earned currency, our money, taxpayers' money, including my money. He deemed it necessary to go and spend such millions of pounds and dollars, but down here infringing on someone's fundamental right of expression, right to access his own doctors, seeing that his health in recent time has been deteriorating. You discarded such important situation and now jet out of the country for your own medical treatment, and you think you can come back alive. He that goes to equity must go with clean hands. You have destroyed our health system. No, an average Nigerian cannot have any affordable health care, and you jet out of the country to London. That's why the London government are very useless. If they are not stupid, how will they admit such useless and callous supposed president? You've not been able to fix your own states. You have not been able to create a facilitate the development of our health system. The doctors are, most of them are on strike, unpaid. Some are leaving the shore of the Nigeria and to other countries where they feel their interest and their well-being is more taken care of. Why is it that most of those people in London, doctors, medical personnel, are Nigerians? Attending to him, why can't he fix the country and take such money, invest those money in our health system? And he's going for education summit, a man without certificate. The entire northern region has been disrupted. The formal education has been disrupted. Over millions of northern children are out of school. Most of them ended up in the hands of their adopters, killed and mad, raped, and all level of atrocious crime, psychological trauma they went through, only because they found themselves within the compassion, and the useless man is going for education summit. You can understand the irony of this. It's very unfortunate. What do you talk about our education system? It's in shambles. I mean, education in Nigeria is dead. Why? Because of the people that are, of course, bad managers. They are not even leaders. And how can we set the record straight? There's no other way as it stands now. An average Northerner, a young Northerner, deserves the right to education. But as you can see now, with the level of unrest, with the level of crime going on within the northern region, northwest and northeast, you can hardly achieve that. And we have not seen an end in sight. It's very unfortunate.
Your final thoughts, Mr. Chigozie?
Justice might be delayed, but cannot be denied. You might intend to circumvent the will of the people, but at the end, the will of the people prevails. You might tend to push the people to the wall, but don't forget that in every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So when you push people to such level of extremism, then you will be ready to face the music, because people are not. The anger has built up to the level that you cannot pacify the people. That the people are willing to lay down their lives for the cause they believe, for the cause of justice, for the emancipation of humanity, to right the wrongs that have been abetted, that have been covered up for decades of years. That has brought us down here. I met one of the silly people I have ever met. He said that Nigeria will soon celebrate 61 years. 61 years of poverty, 61 years of rejection, 61 years of injustice and deprivation, 61 years of backwardness, 61 years of killing her own citizens, 61 years of adoption of innocent school children. You see, a molestation, killing, and marrying and raping of our young and the old mothers. 61 years of people leaving their, of course, ancestral home and scouring for safety in Benin Republic. And did that define an entity? Did that define a country? That is the greatest mistake we ever made.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chigozie.
And we must right this wrong. The time is now. Biafra or death.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chigozie. That's a wonderful one from him. Okay, yeah. Good morning, sir. Your name, sir?
Yeah, I'm Eduma Sunday.
Eduma Sunday. Okay, yeah. Mr. Eduma Sunday.
Yeah.
How do you look? How do you see? What is your take on the trial of Nnamdi Kanu yesterday and Sunday Igboho?
You remember what the former president, General Olusegun Obasanjo, said it, that Muhammadu Buhari, we are driving Nigeria to the anarchy.
You are driving Nigeria to anarchy.
Yeah, you are driving Nigeria to the anarchy.
Okay.
That you are driving Nigeria. You can remember the General C.Y. Danjuma. He said it, that you are driving Nigeria to the anarchy. The time is coming. The time is coming. I promise you. It's like those people who be behind him, who advise him. Who are those who advise him? It's not a matter of saying you hold Nnamdi Kanu, are the one destroying Nigeria. What of bandage? What of Boko Haram? People that are killing people. The Nnamdi and Sunday Bolu, they are fighting for their own region. The reason why they are fighting is because of S-men killing their people. That's why they demand a ransom. And you cannot do anything for S-men. You cannot do anything for bandage. When the bandage are talking about now, the kidnap people, you pay the ransom. Pamper them like your son. Now, Nnamdi Kanu and his son Ipob rise up for their own people. Say, we don't want them, those people to come kill their people again. You now rise up and hold them. I promise. If Nnamdi Kanu die, Nigeria will not take it easy. We can remember President Olusegun Obasanjo said that it's not remember that the former civil war who happened that time. It's not at that time. The civil war will happen now. If it happen now, it will not.
There's going to be a civil war in Nigeria if Nnamdi Kanu dies.
If Nnamdi Kanu die, I'm not from Southeast. If Nnamdi Kanu die, Nigeria will not take it easy. It will not take it easy.
Are you suspecting that they may have killed Nnamdi Kanu?
No. If they are the one, if they kill Nnamdi, they hold him. If they Nnamdi Kanu, let them tell Nigeria that Nnamdi Kanu have died. If Nnamdi Kanu is not dying, let them tell Nigeria, say Nnamdi Kanu cannot prosecute him to court. So if they arrest somebody, they have to the next day charge him to court. Let it be trial in the court, not to hold him.
Okay.
See now, Mr. President now he run away from leave the country when in fire in the ground here in Nigeria.
He has a health issue, so he needs to go and do medical checkup. That's why he left the country.
Let me tell you now. Let me tell you. Since 1960, when Nigeria was created, the former military and the former civilian president, how many times all of them went to the head? How many of them? How many times when many of them go to the head in UK and Germany? How many times? We not say that you not go to health center. You leave the country every minute, 3 months, 2 months. If you can be able to not be able to rule Nigeria, hand over. I promise you, the time is coming. I was so one-man politician. I cannot call his name. He said the time is coming. Nigeria will rise up and rise up against themselves. That is what the former President Olusegun said, that we are driving Nigeria to the anarchy. This is what is going to happen. That if Nigeria, Nnamdi Kanu or Sunday Ipob die, I promise them, it will not take the 5 days. Nigeria will hands off.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Matthew.
Good morning, Mr. Christian.
Nigerian judiciary is on trial.
Is it surprising?
They are on trial.
They're on trial.
Yes, failed to produce Nnamdi Kanu in court. The Nigerian judiciary is on trial. I just want your take on it.
No, actually, the reason they didn't produce Nnamdi Kanu in court is something one can easily infer. Because the reason they cited is not reasonable. They cited logistics as the reason they could not produce him in
I want to
court.
reason with them because the fact
There is
that
no way you can reason
they
with
are
them.
They are threats that if he comes to court, that he's not going to go back. They might want to be cautious bringing him to court so that those things cannot happen.
If I may ask you, from inception of activities of Ipob, have you seen any of their activities being carried out in Abuja? And are you telling me that the seat of power, that the federal government do not have what it takes? If security threat is their challenge, they have not said so. You are the one saying it. I don't know whether you are speaking for DSS.
The logistics issue is that they find it difficult to take him from where he is.
Logistics could be the mobility, the vehicle.
So
It could be that they don't have fuel.
They don't have
It
fuel.
could be that the motor is broken
DSS
down.
don't have fuel.
It could be that. So when you look at logistics, it has to do with issues that have to do with movements. So I don't think their reason is cogent. It's just a flimsy excuse to not to bring him to court. But anyway, I'm not surprised because I expected such. Because if you look at how his detention have been managed so far, you see a DSS that do not want Nnamdi Kanu to have interface with the press. Because I think they may be afraid that if they bring him to court, Nnamdi Kanu may use the avenue to say one or two things in respect to how he was accosted and finally brought into Nigeria. And they may not be comfortable with that. Don't forget that even up to now, Nigerian government is not forthcoming in explaining to British government the circumstances surrounding how Nnamdi Kanu was extradited to Nigeria if actually he did follow due process. So that may explain the reason they do not want him to be in court. Because even as he do not have the permission and leverage of the court to speak, out of frustration and out of seeing it as an opportunity to tell the world what transpired, he may see that, Nnamdi Kanu may see that opportunity against all odds to speak out. So I think that best explains the reason they may not want to allow him have interface with the public and the press. And again, don't forget that even a form that was sent from the British High Commission in Nigeria here to him through his lawyer for him to sign so that they give him consular assistance. Don't forget that the DSS did not allow him to sign it. Don't equally forget that another similar letter that came from a British law firm that seek to have diplomatic assistance on the issue by taking over that case. Don't forget that the DSS equally did not allow him to sign that letter. So looking at all these premises, it tells you that the DSS will want to keep him away from the public, from the press. It's not surprising.
Is that legal? Is that right?
Whether you call it legal or right, as a government, they will have a way of delaying cases. And look at even the frustration of the trial court. The judge has already adjourned to October. And don't forget that the judiciary is already going on annual vacation. And look at the statement that credited to the judge. She said that as they are going on vacation, that it will only take a fiat from the chief judge of Federal High Court in Abuja for them to sit during this period of vacation. And you equally need the prosecution counsel to make application to the chief judge for that fiat. And looking at the body language of the government and the DSS, it is unlikely that they will apply for that fiat. So invariably, it is a tactic to delay the case.
You fear he may have been killed. Pro-Biafra group saying that we fear he may have been killed. Do you support?
I don't believe that he has been killed, and I do not entertain that fear because I think the government of Nigeria, the DSS, should know the implication. Because whether you like it or not, this is a British citizen that is in custody, and people are still questioning, not just Nigerians. Britain is still questioning the rationale behind his extradition, whether due process was followed or not. And it is known that his head healthy as at the time he was abducted. So to that extent, I don't think the government of Nigeria or DSS will stoop so low to kill him. I don't think he has been killed.
Okay, let's look at Buhari going to London for medical and educational summit. He's built to also see Boris Johnson.
The president Muhammadu Buhari is known to always go for medical trip in London. Don't forget that before the arrest and extradition or adoption of Nnamdi Kanu, there was a statement from the presidency that he was going on a similar vacation, only for him to abort it without giving us reasons. But if you look at it, I think he feels the coast is not clear for him to go. But I perceive a protest in London. Because if you look at the issues that have characterized the Nigerian political landscape for some time now, you look at Nnamdi Kanu's case, look at Sunday Igboho's case, vis-a-vis the spontaneous reaction that have traded the two cases, I see a protest from Nigerians abroad, in Britain, over the way Buhari is handling the issue of agitation for self-determination.
Okay, PDP governors insist on electronic transmission of election results. Accuse APC of turning Nigeria to killing field. What's your take on that?
However I look at it, the best we can expect from National Assembly is specifics that has to do with electronic transfer of election results. Anything outside that is an invitation for anarchy. Is anything outside that is preparation to rig the 2023 election. Because though the PDP wouldn't have done it better if they were in the saddle, because our politicians, they always want to use any opportunity to outsmart the other people. So even if PDP were to be in power, what APC is doing the same thing they would have done if it would give them advantage. But I give kudos to a Jonathan who under his watch allow the electoral process to be free to an extent where they introduce smart card readers, they introduce permanent voters card. That eventually led to his defeat by Muhammadu Buhari. So I expected Muhammadu Buhari to leave that legacy by leading a government that usher in free, fair and credible election by allowing electronic transfer of result. Buhari may argue that he is not the National Assembly. But whether we like it or not, if you look at the pattern of voting in the National Assembly, both chambers, it tells you that they voted along party line, irrespective of the yearnings of their electorates, of their constituencies in their respective senatorial districts and national their respective senatorial districts and people who are being represented in the House of Rep, federal constituencies. So in the respective federal constituencies and in the respective senatorial districts, the yearning of the people, especially in the South, was that the senators and House Rep members should vote for electronic transfer of results. But that didn't happen because they were willing to listen to the party directive rather than the people they were representing.
Okay.
It is not surprising that even at that level of voting, go to the Senate, you see that about 29 senators exempted themselves from plenary the day of the voting. What could have been more important that day than voting to decide the fate of Nigeria come 2023? So I don't know what excuse they had for not being attendance at that plenary.
Okay, with the handling of lastly, with the handling of Igboho's and Nnamdi Kanu's case, the agitation for a new nation, is it dying or is it being alive in the minds of people?
It's not dying, but however I look at it, is a setback. Because currently, the way it is, Nnamdi Kanu has to be appears to be the face of Biafra agitation in the southeast. Sunday happens to be the face of Oduduwa agitation for Oduduwa sovereignty in the southwest. But that in itself is not going to truncate the agitation, because this thing you are looking at is an ideology. When Nigeria became Nigeria as an entity, both of them had not yet gained consciousness of leading a group or agitation like this. So it tells you that in due course of time, if the issues, the underlying conditions upon which these agitations were stigmatized, were raised. If those things are not addressed, if those motivational factors that propel Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho are not addressed, in the near future you even see more leaders that have more tenacity to drive the process more than they do as you see it. So this is not going to bring an end to the agitation. Rather, it's going to energize people, because if the people feel that you are suppressing them, they will look for other means to advance it. Don't forget that the world is evolving, and as the world is evolving, technology is evolving, and strategy is evolving. So you are going to see a more articulated and a process that is driven by technology that the agitation we're going to take in the due course of time.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Mr. Kunle, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning, viewers. And keep the good job going, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
The judiciary is on trial. The Nigerian judiciary is on trial. The world is watching. They watched how cases were handled yesterday, especially with Nnamdi Kanu, and also the DSS, the Yoruba agitators, the 48 Yoruba agitators that were arrested yesterday. What is your take on all that transpired yesterday?
As you said, the whole world is watching. But the people they are watching, do they even care about they've isolated themselves. As a country, we have isolated ourselves from the other parts of the country. Because if you have not done that, look at what is happening now. You want somebody you want to extradite someone back to his country. Now, the person, you ambush him in what's it called, Kenya. Was it due process? Did you carry out any due process before you arrest that guy? We are not saying Nnamdi Kanu has not committed any offense. As they said that he has committed an offense. Yeah, if somebody commits an offense, go through the legal process to get him. Not just ambush him and get him into DSSL, and during the court hearing, you refuse to bring him to the courts. You are talking of logistic problem. And as I've been told, the DSS office, not too far, it's just like a stone throw to the Federal High Court that the guy case is being heard.
Is that where they are keeping him?
Yeah, that's where they're keeping him. He's still in the DSS custody. Well, you're not aware. You should be aware. You're a journalist, for God's sake. That's where they're keeping him.
The DSS might have other places that they may keep.
They said the lawyer even
custody does not say that it is in that office that they are keeping him.
They have a detention cell now. They have detention cells in there. If you've ever been to any DSS, the one in Lagos, once they arrest you, they have a cell they will put you. And even that Abuja is you could remember when Tasari was arrested. Could you see? At least they showed us the underground cell. There was a video the guy made when he was naked, half naked, they put him in an underground cell. The way we treat our citizens here, the whole world must be baffled. Say, is this a country? Is this a country that respects human rights? So we're not saying if anybody commits, it's not just a Gestapo, treatment you have to give to that person. Let's give him that right to defend himself and treat him as a suspect, not just attacking him as a criminal already. You see, so that's just what I just say about the state secret police we have here, the operation, the memorandum, the level they operate on, and it's so archaic that the whole world needs to be watching us and be laughing at us. Look at ordinary Benin there. Benin caught Igboho through the instructions of federal government that they should arrest him for them, they should pin him down in Benin Republic. But a country that obeys, that believe in rule of law, put this guy on trial, say, okay, Igboho, what brought you to this Benin? What brought you to this Benin? How did you manage to escape from being arrested as a wanted man? They want to hear from me. The Benin Republic want to hear from me. That's the same thing Nigeria should do. Mr. Nnamdi, yeah, your trial is starting today. Can you explain your grievances and can you explain to us how you manage to escape from Nigeria and the problem you've been having with Nigerian government? Let's hear from you. But yeah, you see, I'm just so sick about, the people they call security in this country. When they send you a messenger work, there's a way you deliver that message. Not like say you now say, oh, it's because now my oga sent me the message, I have to just be rude in delivering the message. That is what is happening here. An ordinary policeman can just come here now, raid everybody, they'll bring up pressmen, I mean, media trial, show them these are the hoodlums, these are the criminals. That is wrong. In a civilized country, that is wrong. We should have our civic space of rights, civic space of rights. These big men, when they embezzle money, they do have their right to hire a lawyer. Do they treat them like criminals? They just say they are suspects. They are suspects. But as a common man, you see, once they're in the country, once there are two laws, a law for a common man and a law for a rich man, that country cannot have an headway.
Okay, let's look at, we fear he may have been killed from pro-Biafra group.
No, they will never try that. They will never, if they try that, they are going to be liable to British governments. They are going to be liable to the UN. Because in the charter, UN charter, to demand for agitation is not a crime. It's not a crime. To demand, because in the charter it said if you stay in the country for some certain years and you don't wish to be part of that country, you have a right to express. There's agitation in UK now. Scotland want to leave UK. They want to stand on their own. They don't want to be under England, right? So there's agitation everywhere. But do you hear one day that they caught one agitator in Scotland and put him in a cell, underground cell, without any trial? It can never happen. We are not in animal kingdom. Why are we black man? We always behave like animal in this part of the region we have. Why? That is why you say these guys maltreat you when you get to their country, because they look at you that there's no value. The government does not value you. So they say charity begins at home. How would they value you? How would they value you?
Okay, Buhari goes to London, jets off to London for medical treatment and also educational summit.
Medical check-up. Thank you. That London he went to, you remember during the early years of Boris Johnson, that's the Prime Minister of England. During the first wave of COVID, he was admitted, he was a COVID victim, a COVID patient, and he did not travel to Germany to go and treat himself. He did not travel to US to go and treat himself. He stayed in a major hospital that a common man, in the UK, that a common man is being admitted to. So Mr. Buhari is supposed to be in the general hospital in Abuja to treat himself. So he will use that opportunity to even check out the health facilities that is on ground, the one we are lacking, the one that is we need to improve on. But traveling to UK every time, what lesson are you giving? What lesson are you teaching us as a leader? So that means a councillor now will just get headache now and book a flight to London, and they are not spending their money. It's government money. They are using Nigerian money to treat Mr. President in abroad. The money that we don't have, we are still complaining of. The money we are borrowing. So a chunk of it will go on the treatment of Mr. President in UK. Is that one right? Is it a right system? When you know the right thing to do, you don't do it, you do the wrong way. How would the world take you serious? How would the world take you serious? Even Kanu is not taking us serious. If Kanu take us serious, as the order came that we want this guy dead or alive back to Nigeria, the Kanu will have released that Igboho instantly. They are not taking us serious. That's just it. And Kanu is not up to Lagos. It's not even up to Ibadan there. So what are we now saying? We are a jester in the community of nations. As we are, they look at us as a jester in this country. Laughing stocks. Laughing stocks.
Okay, let's look at lastly, PDP governors insist on electronic transmission of election results.
Who are the governors?
PDP governors.
They have no moral right. They should call the assemblymen, the senators, the legislators that they sent down to the PDP people voted for. You remember that when there was a voting on support or against there are some PDP senators that walk out, that are supposed to stay in that hollow chamber to defend that system. But some of them walked out of the. So the more you look, the less you see. You see all this PDP, all this APC. I think we should just always say bye-bye to jargons. The house jargons, me I'm saying now. When you call yourself APC, you eat breakfast. PDP, APC member, you eat breakfast with your APC in the morning. You go and eat dinner with PDP at night. Or when you call yourself PDP, you eat breakfast with your PDP in the morning and you eat breakfast with APC. So they are all chameleon. You don't know, you can't know their colors. So what all this want the PDP, I expected that PDP to just keep short of anything they want to say now, because they are birds of same feathers. What they did, if not that they have ulterior motive and a bad, leadership, leadership attitude, we will not be where we are today. Who is going to be APC to overthrow them? But since they started their mess up when they were in power, and there was a lacuna for these people to penetrate, for APC to penetrate, they penetrated. What I hate saying is, so they hijack, they chase Jonathan away, they must do Jonathan out. Who are the people that betrayed Jonathan? Were they not his party member? You could remember then. Some people went to form the new PDP. Then, you remember? They carved themselves out from the old, from the main PDP faction, and they went in alliance with the APC. So what are we now saying? Dog eat dog. Now it be the problem now. So any APC, any PDP, me, I'm just sick of hearing all this thing. I just want a betterment, a better Nigeria for myself. Either is one party I don't know that comes in and give me the dividends of democracy. I'm okay with it. And if you cannot do that, keep saying it. It's not by force. Let us restructure this country. Let everybody have his own region. And give to the center, weaken the center, so that we won't be having all these Gestapo arrest, nepotism, and all these things. So that will stop. Okay. That's just my own point, man.
Yeah. Oh well, you can support you can support Flip TV. We have a GoFundMe account. Support also that we can upgrade our facilities. The link will be pasted on the live chat, so you can support Flip TV to upgrade their facilities. There's a GoFundMe account. Do well to support. I see some things. People mentioning some things. If you know where Nnamdi Kanu is, if Nnamdi Kanu is in DSS custody, come and show me the place, the exact location where Nnamdi Kanu is. No one knows the exact locations except the lawyers. If you know, you can tell me. I have Mr. Samuel here this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Christian.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, viewers at home. Good morning.
Thank you. Let's start with this, the location where Nnamdi Kanu is. With the actions, the way DSS is handling Nnamdi Kanu's case, can we say this is where Nnamdi Kanu is?
Well, let me quote from my favorite, one of the lecturers in my school back then. He said, and I quote, that Nigeria is the only country where everything is possible, nothing is impossible. So in asking me of the location of Nnamdi Kanu, I can't tell you that this is the exact location. If the DSS...
Mr. Kune said it's a stone where the DSS facility is in the DSS facility,
well,
a stone throw from the Abuja High Court.
I'm not privileged to that information. The DSS will be in a better position to come out and use their office to say this is where Nnamdi Kanu is, because it's an open-ended question in the first place. Because if the man is so close, the logistics that we are talking about, are they importing Nnamdi Kanu from overseas country? So that now brings to the question, it becomes a question of logic and cast doubt that maybe the man has been moved to an hidden location far from Abuja, just like what the lawyer Ejiofor said. So I'm tending to believe in the conspiracy because you don't have sincerity of the DSS, who uses double standard and ethnic bigotry, hypocrisy, and a non-professional standard in virtually all their operation. So it's a pity that we find ourselves in a system that is failing by the passing by of each day. And the only thing that is visible is continuous failure. and irrespective of what a few who have they are entitled to their paid opinions, it's okay. But the reality will stand irrespective of paid opinion. And that is why in democracies all over the world, when the majority move towards one ideological school of thought, the few will only have their say and the will of the people, which is the will of God. Okay. Just like what happened in the answers, the will of the people prevailed, even if we know that some paid few stood the opposite direction.
The Nigerian judiciary is on trial. The world is watching.
Yes, true, and we are not surprised. Why I said it now? What did I say will happen if they get to the court? So what did they do? You see, a failing system it's easy for you to predict a failing action that will take place. I said it here yesterday that with due respect to the court, we know how the executive and the Nigerian judicial. See, when you know a failed system, you can almost sit or stand to predict the action of a failure. Nothing good will come out. It's not a matter of magic. You don't even need God to teach you some of these things. I said it now. Sunday Igboho had access to the wife and has access to the doctor. He's online. And he was caught just last week. But Nnamdi Kanu that have been arraigned and been caught, what happened? It shows you the characteristics of one nation who have not gotten it right. But they are putting conscious effort to get things right. Then the other one shows you what? A country who has never gotten anything right, and by the passing of each day are only getting it wrong. So it's commonsensical. So you can decide not to use common sense on such issues because it's not even common to apply common sense to such issues of logical thinking. I'm not a Benenua. I would have been happy that Nigeria got it right. But a failing system will never get it right. So is it irrespective of what a man whose failing system has made him to be thinking in line with failures? So you can go on the opposite. The reality is that two countries had similar instances and one did another thing while the other one did another thing.
They did something similar. They dispersed protesters.
Yeah, no, you can disperse protesters, but it depends on the environment at which that actually occurred. But the judgment of the judiciary of the two that dispersed the both protesters, what do we get? The dispersing of the protesters is not the main issue. That is what they call Metito PCP. You abandon the main subject of conversation. The action of the judicial arm of the two is what you are looking at that strengthens the system. That is the most paramount thing. So the protesters that have been dispersed in Benin would feel relieved. He has seen the doctor. So they are more relieved. Now the protesters that were arrested in Nigeria are not even bringing out the man, and the court postponed it to October. Are they relieved? So what now happens to the man that was arrested in Abuja? What will now happen? So even if you disperse protesters in Benin Republic or you arrest them after giving that court judgment in the prison of those you arrested, there's a relief that we know that justice will come if you can give justice to the main man. So two scenarios. One is moving to the path of international operational standard, how judicial system should move. One is showing how the black manism has catapulted a failing state. It's commonsensical. So you don't expect everybody to have common sense. So some people can type rubbish. It's okay. But a nation move to the path of logical international judicial practice. Benin, give it to I got the happy say Benin, they do the right thing. Am I a Benin man? It's shame now. But we don't have a choice. We need to be saying the truth and clap for them when they do the right thing.
Okay.
So some people with we know in this country, when they evaluated countries in Africa, where when political issues happen, you have more people thinking rational. Nigeria is not among the first three, among the first five. It is small countries that Rwanda is stopping Nigeria. When political issues happen, international journalists interview an average 10 Rwandan people, 100. Go and check the interview of Nigeria if you place 100 people. So you know that the capacity for intellectual and critical thinking, even within the educated leader, is missing. So Nigeria is not even. So why will you expect people not to toe in that line when a neutral body came to conduct a sampled opinion for we and every other black nation that falls within the category of Africa? So you now expect that some people will now come and be typing what they are typing. It's not new. So between you now as a Nigerian, between the Benin courts, in case of Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho, who has done better in terms of hearing the case and presenting to answer it yourself? That you're a journalist does not mean you don't know the truth. Sometimes when you watch Channel TV and TVC arise, when they ask a politician and they are saying the rubbish, does not mean they don't know the reality of what is happening in nearby countries. So we are only fooling ourselves in public display to show our level of Nigeria's level of stupidity. We are selling stupidity on a premium level to the international community. And as a Nigerian, it is shameful that we are carrying the same password. So some of us need to say, no, this system, I cannot be part of it. We are more intelligent than the rubbish they are putting up in the international scene. So those who are comfortable with the rubbish should follow the leadership structure of the foolish people that are in government, the so-called intellectual people that are doing best and are representing their own Nigeria, the kind of country they want to belong in the community of nations.
Somebody is saying, why is Samuel surprised court date was adjourned?
No, I wasn't surprised.
There is adjournment even in the West.
No, forget what is the name of that person. I talk to people with names. What's the name? Does that person have it? My name is Samuel Effiong. What's the real name of that person? He's paid puppet. Who know the scope? They are paid. He should use his real name. It's Su Naija, somebody's name. Can you give back to a child and name your child Su Naija? What are you saying? Until you engage with people that have face and that you can reply. You don't engage with fake names that is going on different social media with a fake name. So we know those scope. Until you have a name, your argument is logical. All this, even in Europe, now so you they do for your own Europe. Not only you did Europe, you always come up with fallacies and lies every day. What are you saying? In your Europe, Benin Republic will give Sunday Igbo an extradite hearing and give him access to his lawyer. Then in your own Europe, since you are the only one in Europe we've ever seen on this group, you'll be typing rubbish every day. Your logistic in your Europe, your DSS in your part of Europe that you are, maybe you are in charge Europe, we now tell you that logistics cannot bring out somebody that is supposed to be presented. See, some people type as if they are the most intelligent. See, you don't type as if everybody is sticking within your capacity of thinking. You should know that not everybody are within your capacity intellectually. So stop typing rubbish with a fake name. When you are serious, you come out with your real name. We engage you in logical conversation. Forget all this fake Europe online. Who knows if it's really in Europe? You can go online and be claiming Europe now. The real people in Europe have called us after this program and done video. So when you start seeing fake names, suspect them. They pay most of them. They are political jobbers that come online to do damage control for government.
Travel to London.
How will it travel? How will it travel? The man that said in 2014 that we stop political office from traveling out of the country, they will fix the hospital. It shows you the hypocrisy. Now the same European man, the fake name European man that is always fast to type Europe on the comments page, will not address that of his paymaster who has left the Nigerian hospital, that in his own Europe, the leaders stay, fix the economy, fix the hospital, make it reasonable for them, and make people to patronize Europe through capital flight. You go, Nigerians and other part of the world want to school you in Europe. They bring money to the economy. The hypocrites now, who uses the principle of double standard, won't address that in his local Europe. Which Europe? Is it the only one in Europe? You should go and sit down and face reality. These people are just fake name, using difference. You'll be hearing Xavier Perez, Nigerian man, not the beer Xavier Perez, to Niger. No, it's a Spanish. You don't try, not true. Spanish nationalism my foot. They be using fake names in their Europe, in his Europe. They should address that. Their prime minister in the whole Europe that he is left the European hospital to go to another hospital. You see, when people are talking, then you not think you're on the same intellectual level with the people you are talking to. That some people are not commenting out of the numbers of comment does not mean they don't know the people that are paid or they are saying rubbish. Do you know how many thousands of people watch most of this program? Less than 10% we comment. So you now see somebody sitting in one corner of one local place claiming to be in Europe, that in his own Europe, the prime minister will leave. He's clever by half to pick that in Europe they postpone court cases. Now he's not clever by half to say he should give me an example of his own Europe where his security apparatus will say because of logistics and within a location in the same Europe that they can't bring a man to court. It will not say. You see, when people that are not smart, the problem we have in Nigeria, the less intelligent, that I don't know anything, always come out to the public, and because of the system of how we operate, the parochial, the traditional system, the most intelligent people find it difficult to engage them in argument. That is what is happening to our political system. So most times, instead of engaging with a normal school sat holder, who will come and tell you rubbish that is not a reality with international global practice, that is not a reality, it's not even making sense to himself. So the best option is you can't be on the same thinking level, because most of these guys, just like the last election, they apply the use of violence and every other means. So when you know you have hope, probably to leave the country, probably to do masters, what would you now engage in a system where the school sats can bring thugs and police to kill you? So you have less intelligent engaging in national constructive political logic than the most intellectual. So you now see them apply the principle of double standard. You pick Europe to justify that they postpone case. But in the same place, you can't pick Europe and give me 10 examples of where somebody, the DSS department, say they can't bring the person within the same country, the same state, or the same locality in Europe to court because of logistics. So you now see that those people who are not clever always act in public that they are the most intelligent people. So how intelligent are you? Now in the same Europe, can you give me an example where the leader of that same country will travel to another country for medical treatment or so-called educational tourism? Now that educational tourism, I want to make us go strike abi. As that fix the decadence and the rubbish educational system. Go to most school, they don't have lecture room, they don't have lecturers. Some people sit on the floor. University. I'm not talking about secondary school. Oh, your secondary school is not even school. They sit on the floor. So in his whole Europe, now we won't see him online. No? We know their scope. They won't address the key issues. When it affects, they will pick a part of conversation that is favorable to them and address. They will pick one that is not favorable to them and shy away from the reality. They will use the policy of divide and rule, the tactics of ethnicity, political paid puppeteers, and they will use the concept of hypocrisy and double standard. So they will not come. Sometimes I read some. You don't have to reply everybody because it is not everybody who naturally deserves a reply. Everybody cannot be on the same intellectual level like the other. So why are you replying somebody that on the basis of intellectual debate, the person is not on your rank? So that's why most times when you hear some conversation, you just walk and leave. The point still remains that as long as the hypocritical system was not structured to bring out anything good in Nigeria from 1960, the policies and the policies of governance has always been called round on 5 basic principles: hypocrisy, double standard, ethnic bigotry, religious bigotry, greed, and corruption. As long as those remain the foundational basis, because Nigeria was not created for anything other than administrative convenience of the white man. Note, you know, we have people they are half-baked graduates. Note, there are countries of the world, I've said it before, that their making was as a result of human error. But at the point in history, they decided to sit as a people to agree on how to move forward. Because you see, when people are clever by half, they are not sound in depth. You know, some people will tell you that so many countries of the world we are making that they never planned for. Yes, you are right. History is factual and is constant with the happenings of global practice. Any country whereby such resolution, according to Niccolo Machiavelli, says that politics comes as a result of resolution. Why Karl Dutch and Harold Laswell defines politics as who gets what, when, and how. Why the other defines politics as the authoritative allocation of resources. In places whereby there is no clear template of the authoritative allocation of resources and who get what, as at what time and how, either presidency, in whatever thing that make up the political settings, such entity have always pleaded, because there is no way peace will reign in a union when 2 or 3 do not agree to stay together. It is commonsensical. In a family whereby the father and the mother or the man married 3 wives and has maybe 10 children, and the children are saying our father is dead, the land there want to sell it, the other one say no, you can't sell it, you need to give it to me. It's commonsensical. When you don't apply the common of logic of existence of familyhood that is closest to you to a national discourse, it shows your level of intelligence. Now if those children don't now accept on a common ground, bros, let's sit at the family, let's deliberate on this issue. This is how we want to go about this thing. Then you now say that one person, maybe the elder son, will now use abracadabra method. See, let me tell you what will happen. They will put juju. If it is in my place in Akwa Ibom, they will put what they call mbiam. It's a native juju they put on land. When you step on the land, you will die. The brothers kill themselves. In Nigeria, yeah. Brothers, the same father, the same mother. The same father, different mother. They kill themselves because of land that, if you check the worth of that land, is not up to 100,000. So how much more a discussion of a national entity that some of the region that produce what makes up of the energy, which is less than about 5 or 6 states, is in trillions. How much more a discussion whereby a people, according to Lamido Sanusi, that the South is spending money to send their children to school, and a particular part of the country is relying on the concept of quota system. that it will come to a point they will agitate, that the quota system will not work and make legislation against those who don't send their children to school. So if another can realize, and he was talking to people within his region, so you now have somebody who cannot apply those concepts of simple family misunderstanding. You think you want to stay together in a family with 6 geopolitical zones, and a part is clamoring to pull out, not even 1, not 2 now, not 3 parts, not central now, directly and indirectly is joining. So you now say you need one professor from heaven to come and tell you that if you come with the way things are, then Nigeria does not have a bright future in the next 10 years. So you need a professor or Jesus Christ, because people expect that Jesus Christ will come and stand in the sky. So do you think that most division of countries of the world came overnight? I'm asking you. So people really think that because you arrest on the go, it means it is over. They even bring they go back to Nigeria. So it means it is over. So because you killed Yusuf in Boko Haram, that ended Boko Haram.
May have been killed.
He should die now. Common sense. When they killed Yusuf, did that end Boko Haram? I'm asking you. So you know, yes, some people, the integration or the unification of Nigeria, there is nothing on earth man-made that is not negotiable. That is only allowing logic to stand on itself. Those people are not in constant global reality. They should go back and read. In UK, there is calls for more secession. Even in Canada, the best of all the economies of the world, more stable society. How much more one local third world that has been divided along every line? Poverty, economy is not working, security-wise is not working, no good health, no railway, no transportation, no good road, no good flyover, joblessness, unemployment, insecurity, ethnicity and background. You're now saying you are not debating that kind of country will stay together in peace. That you are dreaming. Now, according to Ojukwu,
your final thought?
yes, it's my final thought. I always close the thought with a idiomatic expression or a parable. According to Ojukwu in the prosecution of Ken Sarunwa, he said, and I quote, "Good morning. Now, since the South have woken up, may God harden our counterpart and the leadership structure. Harden their mind. This is how the country is going forward. Nigeria is really going forward." My name is Effiong Samuel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Effiong Samuel. Wow. The reason why I used to call 2 Nigeria is because when Mr. Samuel hears 2 Nigeria's name, he's always fired up. This is a battleground for conversations. So we have not insulted anybody. We respond to your opinions. We respond to your comments. We react to your comments. We have a GoFundMe account, and I want you to contribute to that GoFundMe account. On that pin comment, there's a link there. Click on that link and support Flip TV so that we can upgrade our facilities. Mr. Effiong Samuel is not insulting, but we are reacting and responding to comments. I have Mr. Okonkodem here this morning.
If it is in the afternoon, you will see what is happening.
Good morning.
Yeah. Christian Chukwu.
Okay.
How do you?
I'm fine.
Okay. Father Yahweh, I worship thee, I thank thee, I magnify your name for making it possible for me to be alive, for every one of us to be alive. May your name be glorified in Jesus' name. I thank thee, Jehovah God Yahweh, for making our viewers abroad, local and away, to be alive, to viewing us, to be accepting our ways. Be glorified in Jesus' name. I thank thee for keeping Nnamdi Kanu alive. I thank thee for keeping Sunday Bohu alive. I thank thee for the deliverance of the Satanas from the Fulani Janjaweed of Nigerian government. May you be blessed in Jesus' name. Abba Father, I worship thee, I thank thee. Be glorified in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Yeah, I am Mr. Akbara, the new Oko condemned in this Second Republic of Biafra, led by Nnamdi Kanu and his Ipob government of Biafra. Long live Republic of Biafra. Long live Republic of Biafra. Long live Republic of Biafra. Long live Nnamdi Kanu. Long live Oduwa Republic. Long live Oduwa Republic. Long live Oduwa Republic. Long live Sunday Bohu. Long live Sunday Bohu. You guys are my people. The liberator of the Satanas by God's grace. God will keep you people alive in Jesus' name. Amen. Yeah.
Looking at the trial yesterday, what's your take from all that has happened?
The trial yesterday is a mockery of Nigerian judiciary. It's a dance of shame of Nigerian judiciary. By Melami and Menta to come and tell us that Nnamdi Kanu wasn't able to appear in the court because of whatever logistics they call it. Is Nigeria not ashamed? From since last month up to a month, you are not able to put their logistics right. To bring the man, to bring the Moses, to bring the leader, to bring the man born in Nigerian throat to the court. You are not able because you are fearing. You cannot defeat the guy by God's grace. You are fearing. Have become the Nelson Mandela of South Africa to Nigeria. And Nigerian government have become PW Bote that cannot do Nelson Mandela anything. That's why they are fearing to bring him. A shame, logistic, excuse, logistic. For how many days, how many weeks, you are not able to put your transport in a good order. You are not able to put the things right to bring him down to that place. You know, I said it yesterday. You go and watch yesterday comment. Didn't I not say it that even if I thought they would bring Nnamdi Kanu to that court yesterday, I know what Nigeria can do. Blah 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 and trick you. You can never hold any agreement with Nigeria. At the end, that agreement come to right. Nigeria will tell you yes. At the end, it will be no. Nigeria government will tell you they are killing Boko Haram. At the end, Boko Haram is killing them.
Is
That's
Nigeria or this government? Is it Nigeria as a whole?
This present government. That's what I mean. Government of lie. That's why their ministers are liars. Look at Melami. Look at Bianta, a whole judge don't know how to put logistical things in order before coming to court. Look at how they lock every lawyers up, all the whole lawyer that came to defend Nnamdi Kanu. They lock them outside. Is it the right thing? Bianta was a lawyer before to judge. He practiced that bar. He did not jump over. When he was a lawyer, was he treated like this? Was she locked outside when he has a case to defend? Now you did not bring Nnamdi Kanu to court. Whom do you come to judge? You don't allow the lawyers to enter. His lawyer to enter. Who will defend him? Even a whole Ezife, Chukwuemeka Ezife come. They weren't able to produce him, to produce Nnamdi Kanu, for him to see the guy, only to see the guy. Please, let me tell you, Nigeria is planning anything to see if they can cool Nnamdi Kanu down and destroy him and kill him. That's why they are delaying. They know that if Nnamdi Kanu entered that court yesterday, he will not leave that court without a Biafran referendum or Biafran outright declaration of Biafra. They know that if Nnamdi Kanu enter that court, he will not leave that court without Biafran freedom. They are delaying it, popping low, seeing if they can be able to bribe international community. Now I'm telling you, Nigerians are poor. Nigerians are poor. We are suffering hunger, but our government get money to be lobbying people outside the world, to lobby people outside the world to go against Biafra. Government, okay, how much did Nigerian government, the present government, give Kenya government president to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu? How much did they pay? And we don't have money. $1 billion US.
There's no information on that. There's no report on that.
Do Nigeria deny? Uhuru Kenyatta, he came and said, if they drag him to court, he will mention the name of Nigerians who came to pay that money. He have their account. They pay the money to. Is Nigeria denying? Can you kidnap somebody? Can I kidnap somebody and bring to without you paying me? You know that kidnapping is a serious business. It's a dangerous business. It's worse than armed robbery. Can you do that business to you without you paying me cash? You know how much they have paid the Nigerian government to pay to South American international assassin to kill Nnamdi Kanu, but they fail, and we are suffering hunger. And this present government is squashing our money, collecting loan, and putting us in disarray. That's why they are delaying, so that they can be able to gather money to be giving people to see if they can quench Biafran agitation. to see if they can be able to kill Nnamdi Kanu and everything will go silent. As Abiola on go silent. That's their plan. That's why they refuse to bring him. That is why they refuse to produce him in the court yesterday. Look at how policemen take gun, driving people away yesterday. In a screen, in open place, he don't know the camera is speaking it and showing it to the whole world. They tell you that the type of people are ruling us. From the head of state to Attorney General to Chief of Justice, all of them, to ambassadors. How many of them are not Fulani? All the hockey posts in Nigeria, how many of them are not Fulani? Even NNPC, how many of them are not Fulani? And all of them are ruling us with an Arabic education, with Arabic certificates. That is why Nigeria is messing up. That's why they don't know the rule of law. That is why Nigeria is misbehaving. But when a star, when a brilliant man come to say, this is the normal way to do it, they will tag him terrorist. Now they have tagged Sodibo terrorist. They have tagged Nnamdi Kanu terrorist. People that stand for justice. Now bring it and pass the judgment. You don't bring and pass the judgment. They are fearing. It was a very shameful thing to Nigeria. The judiciary, Nigerian judiciary, it was shameful thing to them. How they are handling this case. What they are laughing them. What are laughing them? And Nigeria, this is how Nigeria mess up and lose Bakassi to Cameroon when that side was still under Cameroon because they don't have any person to represent them in international level. They don't know law. They don't know what is called law. This is why they are messing up. May God have mercy upon them and deliver we that know what is called law, know what is human right, know what is have human feelings. May God believe us. If had they been scattered, they will come out and defend that cattle well. They come out and protect that cattle well. Because that's what they know how to rear. They don't know how to control human. They don't know what to cause human resources, but they know cattle resources. That's why they are. If you watch everything, the dance in Nigeria, the judgment in Nigeria, everything end up to give land to cattle, not to human being. Because Biafra say we will not give our land to cattle. That is why we are agitating to go. All the Republic say they will not give their land to cattle. That's why they are agitating to go. All you see, Fulani to take over is for cattle to have land. That's why they are delaying to see if they can kill Nnamdi Kanu and the cattle take land over the land. But cattle never take over the land. Land is meant for human being to take over, to cultivate. When God in Genesis chapter 2, God to tell Adam and Eve, go multiply, replenish the earth. He didn't say cattle, replenish the earth. He didn't say animal, replenish the earth. He said, go, replenish the earth, subdue the earth, take over the earth, control the earth. He's telling to human beings, not to animals. So we cannot be allowed, by God's grace, allow cattle to take over the land as they are doing it. They will never succeed. But let us watch out. In the next court, they have fixed. Okay, look at the period they fixed. How many months now? 3 months to delay the thing, to suppress Nnamdi Kanu.
And they're suppressing Nnamdi. They're suppressing British citizens.
To make Nnamdi Kanu whether he will succumb, whether he succumb like Wazirike, like Rafael Waziri can collect money. But thank God for the heart he gives to Nnamdi Kanu. But British government, we are still watching them. You see, all the whole thing happening in Nigeria. I'm suspecting British government. British government will come outside and say, don't kill, don't kill. He's a woman being. He go behind, say, do whatever you like. Just don't worry. A year, 3 years, if it will die down. Whatever that's happening in Nigeria is the seed of British government. They sowed it. And the thing have germinated and bearing first fruits. And that first fruit is bearing. They are enjoying it. It's favoring them. That is why the owners of the land are suffering. The strangers, Fulani that came from desert, are taking over. Because British know that they are the one they can use to be tapping the mineral resources of Nigeria.
Okay, any final thought, Mr.
The final thought I'm saying that whether they like it or not, if not to let them kill Nnamdi Kanu, Biafra will exist. Biafra will come to be. Because Biafra is the handwriting of God, not handwriting of man. Nigeria was adjoined by man, not by God. And Biafra is established by God, not by man. So Nigeria will disintegrate, integrated. Then Biafra will rise and to stay. Remember, as I'm saying, Nigeria is a joint venture of man. Lord, look at Look at Soviet Union. Soviet Union integrate. Everybody go to his own way. If Soviet Union can fall, everybody go to his own way. Communists fall, everybody goes his own way. Who is Nigeria that everyone not go to his own way?
Okay.
Soviet Union is more than Nigeria, but everybody go to his own way. So Nigeria everybody go his own way. Whether they like it or not, whether the Pharaoh in Abuja like it or not, Nigeria, Biafra must surely exist. All those must surely exist. Long live Republic of Biafra. Long live Republic of Biafra. Long live Nnamdi Kanu. Long live Sunday Igboho. Long live Oduduwa. Long live Oduduwa. Omo Biafra. Ọ na-arahakwa n'ụra. Onye ndị Yoruba gbugbu eche ndị nche mgbe niile. Biko Omo Biafra. Chinanya nọ n'aka. ESN ọ na-arahakwa n'ụra. Unknown government ọ na-arahakwa n'ụra. IPOB ọ na-arahakwa n'ụra. Maazị Nnamdi Kanu arahakwa n'ụra. Na-akpọku Fada Yahweh ọ ga-asa gị ekpere. Long live Biafra. Long live Biafra. Long live IPOB. Long live Okoko Nde.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kondem. Good morning, sir. Well done. You're very tough. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, let's look at what happened yesterday. Did you
what
watch,
happened yesterday is the way it's supposed to be. Because the Nigerian government knew that bringing Nnamdi Kanu to court will cause a lot of havoc. You see, they plan ahead of this thing. They have judged the case on Sunday. What played yesterday is just a periphery of what happened on Sunday. Because they knew it, that they won't stand the heat. There's no amount of gun or amount of information they can use to drive people away from that place. You see, you see that they couldn't even allow the international lawyers that came there for this case to enter that place. And those ones, they have not even arrived. Because they came to know how the way they're going to judge the case. You know, everybody are looking at the case to know how the government are going to judge it. That's the reason why they have to shift it and detain him inside the DSS by not bringing him to court, because they knew that there's no way they can withstand the crowd.
Let's look at the excuse they gave. They say logistics.
You see, they have the logistics to go out and kidnap him from Kenya to Nigeria, but they could not have the logistics to take him from what distance from DSS to Abuja High Court compared to the distance from Kenya to Nigeria. They could have enough money to buy petrol and put for inside plane and inside jets and went to Kenya to kidnap him over there and bring him to Nigeria. But they could not have money to take him from DSS to office to Nigeria High Court. That is a foolish excuse. You see, the problem we have in Nigeria is caused by the Britain. British are the issue we are having in Nigeria, because they are the ones that engineer the Fulanis on what to do because of what they are gaining from them. They know an Igbo man cannot allow them to tap our oil. Yoruba man cannot allow them to come and rule them. It's only Fulanis. That's the reason why they are aiding them, they are betting them, and that's what the reason why they're doing it. But you see, Nnamdi Kanu is from Nigeria. He's not a man that you cannot hide anyhow. He is bigger than Nigeria. Before then, he has said that Nigeria cannot judge him. They can't try him. They can't detain him. They can't judge him because he knows what he's doing. He's a man of focus. He's a man that knows where he's going. Because what is going is for Biafra, and he's saying he must libert his people because the suffering is too much. The Nigerians, the way they are killing Igbos, they are killing all the other Nigerians, all that tribe is too much. That's the reason why God brought two of them, Ibohu and Nnamdi Kanu, to come and liberate us from the hand of Fulani.
Any final thoughts, sir?
My final thought is that Nigeria should do it fast before it gets too late, because the more they are holding them, the more they are causing havoc to themselves, because there's nothing they can do to stop Biafra, because Biafra is ordained by God. God has already established it. It's in the name of the Spirit. What we are waiting for is the time of actualization, and now is the time, and God will back it up.
Your name, sir?
My name is Mr. James.
Mr. James, sir. Thank you. morning, Mr. Raphael.
Good morning, Mr. Chuku.
I heard you saying something at the back.
Yes.
Britain is the cause.
Yes, Britain is the cause of our problem. Nnamdi Kanu, anybody that thinks he's punishing Nnamdi Kanu, that person is punishing British citizen. Nigeria government has sent him back to DSS facility or Kuje prison as he chose yesterday. Because Nnamdi Kanu chose to be in Kuje than DSS facilities. So Nigeria government has succeeded in pushing him back to where he was. They are thinking.
Okay, why is it that he's in Kuje right now?
I think Nnamdi will be in Kuje now. Must be in Kuje.
Okay, you think
I think so because that was his choice. That was his choice yesterday.
He may have been killed. That is from Biafra group.
Yes, that was the insinuation yesterday. Alarm would have busted there. Trouble would have burst out yesterday in Abuja because everybody need to see the guy. No need of hiding him. So now people are insinuating maybe the guy may have been killed. If he's not killed, bring him to the court. Let us see him. They are hiding a British citizen, a whole Britain, double standard country. They are not doing anything. Look at the WAF like Nigeria. We stand challenging a British citizen, and the UK are still meddling for what? Playing consular role. Which consular role? They are holding your citizen. Let me tell you, the most double standard nation on earth is UK, United Kingdom. I don't see the offense that this young man has committed. This young man is agitating for self-determination. The Scottish in the UK is among the federatives that form United Kingdom. The Scottish, the Ireland, they are setting to be on their own. They don't want to be with UK, United Kingdom anymore. They don't want to be with England anymore. So tell me the crime of Nnamdi Kanu. Tell me the crime committed by Sunday Igboho. All these guys, they have their rights too. As Scotland is to the UK, so is Nigeria, is Biafra, Igbo man, is to Nigeria Federation as well. Our region is tired of these people. We want to be on our own. Now you are trying to hold the guy back. Is it a sin for somebody to be on his own? I would have loved Malami Abubakar to allow Nnamdi Kanu to come to the court. Let you have face-to-face rapport with Nnamdi Kanu. Let the whole world hear you. CNN is there. Al Jazeera was there. Are you listening? Most of the media houses, they were there yesterday. So that let us try you to know whether you merit that position. AGF, Attorney General of a whole federation, like Nigeria, doesn't know the real ideologies, philosophy of law, jurisprudence. They would have given him an assessment exercise in the courtroom. He would have failed woefully. You cannot just wear that regalia cap. I'm a Chief Justice of the Federation where you don't have anything upstairs. Malami, Abubakar Malami is a fool. He doesn't know anything. They're supposed, if the system is working right here, they're supposed to do what? Impeach him out. Sack him from that position. And bring somebody who knows law, who knows what it takes to work for justice. You don't swear justice because you are one kind mediocre that was given a position that is not suitable for your own, for your whatever. Everywhere, Fulani. Anybody that qualifies as ordinary magistrate court judge that meddle into marriage issue, marital issue, the Buhari will bring him. Become CGN. Oh yeah, come. What is your qualification? Okay, you are the chariot judge there. Come to Abuja. We are going to give you a bigger position. Malami is not qualified to be in that position. He would have, fought it out with Nnamdi Kanu yesterday. But what happened? Malami cowed out. El-Rufai cowed out. Buhari cowed out and absconded into the UK with his NSA, National Certificate Security Advisor. The so-called DSS, kidnapper, thief, he absconded to the UK. He cowed out also. He cowed out. They are cowards. Let me tell you, Fulani man, there's one thing with them I read in the recent time. Fulani man cannot come face to face with Yoruba man to fight Yoruba man. It's a lie. He will run. Fulani man will run. Fulani man cannot come face to face and challenge Igbo man. Accompany an Igbo man for a fight. Fulani man cannot accompany an Igbo man face to face for a fight. Fulani man will do what? He will run. Fulani man can only come to attack Igbos when they are asleep. They set your house ablaze, they will hand you one corner. If you come across, they will use knife and remove your intestine. That is what they specialize on. That is what an act of cowardice is, an act of terrorism. People mistaking terrorism and cowardice. They don't know the meaning. When you take people unaware and kill all of them is an act of cowardice, and it is an act of terrorism. A brave man, a man of valor, cannot come by sudden. He will tell you, wait for me there, I'm coming. He will accompany you for a fight. And he's going to give you the fight of your life. Now let me tell you, Nnamdi Kanu, had it been that Nnamdi Kanu came from the DSS facility yesterday and stepped into that courtroom, he's not going back there anymore. I said it earlier and it all worked out yesterday. Whoever is doubting it, to Nigeria, you there and Mr. Darrett, you sit down in your seat, you sit back in your house in the UK, you are enjoying a lot, you don't know what Nigerians are passing through. That's why you are writing bullshit on our comment sites. You would have come to Nigeria here and feel the atmosphere of Nigeria, then you might ask for my number and let us have one-on-one rapport. I will use my paw and give you what? This is a paw of a lion, and slap your face. You will know that it is not easy to live in a desert like Nigeria. Hell! So Nnamdi Kanu was taken back because they were afraid of the supporters of Nnamdi Kanu. The so-called outlawed son of Afiaruku community has now become the son, a heir, the first heir of Igbo land, a son to Ezefe Okwadike, the former governor of Anambra State during Abacha regime. He's now calling him my son. Do you think people will pity you when you are living fine? Black man will not have pity on you until you start crippling, crawling with your two knees. That is when black man will have pity. Oh, come, how much do you need? Take, go and eat. But when you stand tall, they will be very, very annoyed with you. That is something I find out that is wrong with the people in this country. They don't have pity on each other. Nobody will love you unless you fall sick. Nobody will love you unless they see tears rolling down your cheeks. Look at Nnamdi Kanu, the lion that is down in the jungle there. People are now pitying him, calling him their sons. The Igbos, yesterday, they streamlined themselves, their buses, to Abuja to caress their son, to cuddle the so-called outlawed fugitive before, now a son. They are caressing, everyone is talking good about him. Did they talk good about him in the past? Would be that they love Nnamdi Kanu and they exonerate him and take him at higher esteem. Fulani oligarchy, Fulani pastoralists would not have rubbish Mazi, MNK, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is because of the way we take that young man. We don't love that young man. We did not show respect to that young man. Fulani, Buhari, his casemen, they are helping us to disrespect that young man. We started it in the first place. The Igbos started in the first place. The governors in the southeastern Nigeria started it in the first place. Okezie Bazu started it in the first place. That's why he sent Abakari. Abakari led the military onslaught on the compound of Mazi Israel, His Royal Highness Israel Kanu, and killed him, killed his wife, killed 28 boys. Nnamdi Kanu's father died as a result of trauma he went through. When military operation took place on his palace, we are not done. There are things you see, you won't take it, you will die. That is a king for you. That man is a hero. You don't come to the king palace and disgrace the king palace and kill people on the palace and you expect the king to be alive in Igbo land. No. You discredited his palace, he has no option than to die. That's why Nnamdi Kanu's father died. Nnamdi Kanu's father is a hero. His mother died because they killed his children. Are you listening to me? That's why the mother died. So let me tell you, Nnamdi Kanu died because of what went wrong on the palace there. So let me tell you. The synergy, the cooperation among Nigerian forces that led to the invasion of Nnamdi Kanu's father's palace led to Nnamdi Kanu's death. They disrespect the Fulani, the APC led government is giving Ipob man today is because of that military onslaught on Mazi Israel, as Israel, His Royal Highness Israel Kanu's compound. That's why they can no longer respect Igbo race. The Fulani, they disrespect us because we disrespect ourselves. We don't respect ourselves. We are no longer respecting our culture. We don't respect our nationality, Biafra. We don't respect our custom anymore. Are you listening to me? So let me tell you, comfort me. I tell you, had it been Nnamdi Kanu was cited yesterday at the courts auditorium, outside the courts, no man, no DSS, born of woman womb, could order him back to their facility for detention. My final talk is that, let me tell you, it is obvious, too obvious, that Nnamdi Kanu's freedom has come. It is obvious, too obvious, and a denial of the obvious. If a kidnapped person has been discovered where he is hidden by his abductors, yes, what happened is that such a victim will be set free. They will set him free. He's a victim of kidnap. Nnamdi Kanu is a victim of abduction. He was abducted at Nairobi airport, flown into this country. Listen to this man. Do you understand? So now that we know where they're hiding him, we don't have any option. Everybody went to Abuja yesterday to set him free. We would have taken our son, our brother, our uncle, our friend, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, the most peaceful agitator. He is holding his right now Guinness Book of Record. It has won him Nobel Peace Prize in Israel. For your information, Lai Mohammed, you that give Nigerians information, you didn't tell us that one, no. But all you tell us is lies, falsehood.
Thank you very much, Mr. Raphael. We are moving to the end of Bystanders at the newsstand. We have a GoFundMe account that we want you to contribute to upgrade our facilities. The link is on the chat. You can click on that link and contribute your widow's mite to that account. I'm Christian Chiku on this wonderful edition. Mr. Femi behind the mic. Thank you very much. And also a big thank you to Boss Flip TV Biodun Pukoluyi. We have one person. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So what are you going to tell Nigerians this morning?
My brother, you can only play with God creation, but you will not touch the Ipob of Almighty God. A child can easily play with mom in mossy breast, but he cannot play with his daddy blockers. I mean a lot. Nnamdi Kanu, I believe we've gave Nigeria DSS, Fulanis, Hausas a long time, and they are sympathizing with Igbos. But this is a big trap, and they should have it in mind. If Igbo man remain one, he will fight for his right. They are doing with all the things they are doing, and we keep calm, and we are doing as if we don't know something. The people that are fighting with for Igbo land are children. When men will come out, see, if men come out for Igbo land, I don't think that it will be easy. And we are watching them. And I believe gradually, they are coming to that level. We are waiting for them, for we to hear, for we to see that there is a scratch. There is a scratch in Nnamdi Kanu's body. That is when they will see whether Igbo man is still there or Igbo man no there. Nigeria will see, and they will confirm, and they will believe that they are still Igbo men. At the same time, I'm using this opportunity to tell my brothers that are celebrating Obi Kubana mother's burial. Obi Kubana and his so-called friends, they are enjoying money. Their house is on fire, and they are pursuing rats. They are bringing out dollars, money, bundle. But there is what we need to do with money in Igbo land. Remember, if you don't call your pot, if you call your pot a useless pot, it will not run soup for you. But when you value the pot that you have, it will run soup for you. Nnamdi Kanu is crying for freedom of Igbo. And my brothers, they are uselessing money. They are languishing money. They are throwing money up and down, forgetting that we have something to do with money. Igbo people, let them pursue what is pursuing them. Fulani herdsmen, bandits, Buhari and his community and his chief, they are fighting for Igbo. And my brothers are there spending money on Obi Kubani's mother's burial. I'm not happy that we lost the woman, but let them face what that's important. Yes, Ife, Nnamdi Kanu lawyer, they never want to tell us truth. But we are waiting for them. Whether they talk truth, they don't talk truth. Oga, when you come to a community, if you see poor man kill finish, he will enter big man. Do you know why I say he will enter big man? Because by the time you kill all the whole poor people finish, you will see one or two or three big men. Abi? Whether politician, whether businessman, Fulani herdsmen will soon reach them one by one. But when that one will begin, they should not call youth, they should not call Ipob, they should not call unknown government, they should not call anybody. They should have it in mind that is Fulani herdsmen, because they are the one who opened door for them. Let's Nnamdi Kanu lawyer tell us the truth. Let Nnamdi Kanu lawyer tell us the truth. Because why they failed to produce him yesterday? Why they failed to produce him yesterday? We never know. Let them tell us, because if they fail to tell us, the wrath of Igbo youth will come on them. I don't care to know. Okay. I have told them, let them better open up that thing that is hidden. Let us know how we fight for an herdsmen. Now, I mean it, so I'm very, very angry. Because you get the time where the fight to go reach. Pikin no go know mama, and mama no go know Pikin again. Let us know what is going on within Nnamdi Kanu and DSS. When they hide him yesterday, they failed to bring him out. Brother, they said October. Oga, You cannot eat your cake and have it. If you hold Nnamdi Kanu, you are holding Igbo youth. And when you are holding Igbo youth, you are looking for trouble.
Thank you very much. Let's move to the end of Bison Newsstand. This man, I'm Christian Chuku on this wonderful edition. Till tomorrow when we meet, we're on Instagram, Flip TV on Instagram, It47 Facebook. We have a GoFundMe account. Support. There's a link on the live chat. You can click on that link and support your Widow's Might so that we can upgrade our facilities. Thank you. As we meet tomorrow for another edition of Bystanders at the Newsstand. I'm Christian Chuku. Bye for now.